Hey guys. Let's see. All right. Give everybody a couple minutes to hop on. Oh, there we go. People are starting to come on. Tried to jump on a little early and it would not let me, so sorry about that. All right. Somebody left a comment. Let's see. I want to be able to see your comments so that I can actually... Yeah, you're welcome, Maggie. Definitely want to be able to answer any questions for anything that isn't covered in the swimmer guide. You'll hear me call that an athlete guide about 1,000,000 times tonight. And we'll give it about 30 more seconds and then we'll get started up. I hope everybody's doing well. Registration is officially closed. We closed the 6 milers at, 6 milers, Jesus, 1 milers at 6 o'clock. So we are officially closed. We have 880 people swimming. Not all of those obviously are 4.4s. About 300 of them are the 1 milers. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. So if you have any comments or anything, just go ahead and throw them in the comment box. I will try to answer them for you. So in case you don't know, my name is Jason Chance. I'm the race director for the event this year. I helped out last year. I was the race director, and we still had Mark on board. Linda and Mark did decades of this event and made it into what it is now. They moved down to Florida. Wow, Joel, right into it, huh? I'll get to you, man. They moved down to Florida, and it just logistically became difficult for them to handle this event. So we took it over. We took over the production and the timing, and we produce about 30 of our own events, and then we help produce about 50 additional events. So this is what we do full time. So we're looking to make some pretty cool changes. One thing that you will see behind me, we want to celebrate 30 years of giving back. You've seen that over and over again this year. What that is it's the 30th anniversary of the nonprofit. This is not the 30th anniversary of Brian Early's first swim. This is the 30th anniversary of the nonprofit, which we've given, I believe it's over $3 million over the past 30 years. Back to local charities. March of Dimes right now and the Coast Guard are our two largest charitable, I guess, people who receive the charity, in addition to the Chesapeake Bay Trust. We use the Chesapeake Bay Trust in addition. So let me just go ahead and knock these two questions out first. Joel, if you are talking about the 4.4 milers, you will both go off at the same time. You will both go off at the same time. When you walk down to the beach, there will be 2 lines for you to go through, but there will be 2 gigantic arches. It'll look like a really big blue McDonald's arch. And you will be on one side will say wetsuits and the other side will say non-wetsuits. And we will launch 10 at a time through each of those arches. So 20 people total, which is a lot better than 350 people. 20 people total will be going through at the same time. This worked out really, really well for Maryland Freedom Swim, which is where we kind of developed it at. And it's very funny because after a while, I just hopped out of the way. because everybody just kind of stepped up, stopped, and I said go, and they went. So that's perfect. That's amazing. We would love for that to happen again. There is a video about how this 10-second start thing works. If you haven't been getting any of the emails or anything like that, one thing that we're really happy about, we take every one of our communication, and Jim, thank you for your comment about communication. It's been fantastic. One thing that we do is we take all of the emails, and they're on the website. They're on bayswim.com. The second tab down, I'm looking at it right now, is 2023 emails. And if you click on that, every email that we've sent from the lottery drawings all the way through is copied and put on there for the date. So if you missed Al Gruber's his form yesterday that talks about how he would swim it, because he is swimming it for the 25th time, that's in an email from yesterday that you can actually link to. Today is Tom Matsiek. He is the person, he is our Bay Whisperer. That is who will be standing down at the water's edge to give you any kind of last minute tips and tricks. It's funny, both of them pretty much give the same line that they want you to swim, which is, you know, closer to the westbound span for the first half, and then kind of shifting over around the mid. Triumph, I believe that eastern ship channel is going to be between the two bridge stanchions. That will be right smack in the middle, and that's where you should start probably doing your switch. Mark Levy, will use a pull buoy? Yes, use a pull buoy will be legal, and it does not count as a wetsuit. When you go and you show up on race morning, you're going to present your ID, and our friends over the March of Dimes are going to say, here's your bib number or your chip number, which will be the next chip that's in line, and will you be wearing a wetsuit or not? Now, if you have a question about if you have a wetsuit or not, they're going to ask for me to come over and give clarification on that. The definition of wetsuit is a non-textile material. So our acid test, our litmus test is, if we take it, we put it over your face, and we breathe and we can feel the breath, that's a textile material. So that means that it's like a swim skin with no neoprene, something like that, that's going to make you slick through the water. That's exactly what they use in the Olympics, those speed suits. There is no neoprene, no flotation to that at all. If you can't blow through, and I don't mean like huff and puff and blow the house down, if you can't normally blow through, that's neoprene, and you're going to be in the wetsuit category. We are not going to be testing your lava shorts with that little test. If you're wearing lava shorts, which are the shorts that give you buoyancy, you're in a wetsuit. Okay? Tim, full wetsuits are allowed regardless of temperature. Okay? Full wetsuits are allowed. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Right now, the water temperature is like 72 degrees. Me personally, if I was going to wear a wetsuit, I would be wearing a sleeveless wetsuit, just because I don't like it binding on my shoulders. But it's all in what you are comfortable with. If you wear a full wetsuit, the bonus is you could probably tuck a gel or something like that into your wetsuit and use that. Swim skins, yes, Triumph Coaching. It's exactly like Ironman rules. Okay, it's exactly like Ironman rules. A swim skin, as long as it doesn't have any neoprene in it, then yes, you can use that. Air quality index, dude, man, you guys aren't even going to let me talk, are you? Okay. Air quality index due to wildfires is red. Correct. I posted today. I sent out an email. I think I put it on Facebook also. Today was one of the worst days. We looked at it. We looked at the IQ Air. I actually just posted. You know what? I'm going to share the graphic in a little bit, but what I found is if I screen share, and then, you know what, you don't need to see my face. I'll just go ahead and screen share. Let me switch over here, if I can figure out how to switch over here. Yes, today it was a bad day. And I don't see the ability for me to do the screen share, so we'll just keep on talking. Today was a bad day. It is supposed to be the worst day out of all of them. I have the graphics up in front of me. If we were at a rating of 150 something today, Sunday is projected to be a 52. So right now there's no health risk, but we are talking to Anne Arundel Health Department. We're talking to the Coast Guard. We're talking to everybody. If there's something bad, just like last year we had thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are bad. We made that call at 6 o'clock in the morning, whether we were going to go or not. I hate to break it to you, but that call will be made again at 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So that's, as of right now, we're a go. If something were to happen, or if we were to see that something is really, really happening that we can project is going to be bad, we will let you know on Saturday. And we will let you know through emails and social media and all that kind of stuff. Jeannie Dennison, yes, the bay swim has mile markers in the water. We put large, I want to say we put large orange tetrahedrons, which is a fancy word for a pyramid, at every single mile marker. If you were to go to bayswim.com right now and you scroll all the way to the bottom of the screen, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the screen, I actually went through because I was getting so many questions about it. And I did all of the calculations, rough calculations based on Google Earth. For the 1 mile, it tells you all the yardages of the legs. For the 4.4, it tells you where mile 1 is, which is pretty much right at the end of the turn. Mile 2, I apologize, I wasn't smart enough to know what it's called, the little grates that we drive through up on the top. But mile 2 is at the start of one. Mile 3 is at the start of another. And mile 4 is pretty much when you come out. So out from under the bridge. So definitely look at bayswim.com and scroll down to the bottom. Allison Adams, last year the finish line had a steep climb up. Yeah, we are building stairs. We are in the process of building stairs for that. It's not a permanent thing. It's not something we can leave. So we're in the process of building it. And then Saturday or Friday, depending on when we get done, we will be testing those stairs. We can't, permanently affix anything in there. So we're trying to drive really big poles into the ground and see if we can, secure the stairs enough. And yes, I know it was scary. So one change to last year, because the timing equipment that we use is different than what Lindmark used. Your finish line will be at the water's edge. Your finish line will be as soon as you get out of the water. Pretty much, if we can get these stairs in, it'll be at the bottom of the stairs. That will be when your time finishes. And that's going to help because it means that you can take a little bit more time getting up that hill. When you get up the hill, there's going to be some really cool stuff that's going to be up there. You might think that's the finish line, but it's not. It's down on the it's down right at the water's edge. What that's also going to do is it's going to let our photographer take a picture of you, be able to timestamp it so that we can sync that up and say at 2 hours and 14 minutes, Allison Adams came across the finish line, and you get that cool picture of the Bay Bridge behind you. So that's our goal with that. Photographer asked for that, and honestly, we wanted that. Laird Strauss, yes, I forgot to put that in the swimmer guide, and I apologize. There are two things I forgot to put in the swimmer guide. One of which is there are water boats. There is a water boat at mile 2 and a water boat at mile 3. What they have in them, we're giving them cases of Gatorade, we're giving them water, and we're giving them ginger ale. And they will have little plastic cups. So you will swim up to them and you will get what you need. What we've been recommending is don't count on those. Don't count on those calories. Try to take your own stuff if you possibly can. Some people are using those pull buoys that were discussed earlier and putting small bladders inside of them like a Camelback. Don't count on them, because if you're on the wrong side of the channel or the currents start to move them around, you don't want to be chasing them and burning up any kind of energy. So Courtney Reichenbach, yep, scroll right to the very bottom of bayswim.com, and you will see exactly where every turn is, how long the distances are, all that kind of stuff. As I'm getting information, I'm trying to put it right on that front page So you'll notice on the very front page at bayswim.com, I actually put the physical 911 addresses for the primary parking for the park and ride for the 4.4 mile swimmers. That's 111 Thompson Creek Road. The secondary address is Chesapeake. That's 671. I always call it Rum and Coke, but it's Romancoke Road. That's the Chesapeake Elementary Schools. Yeah. Triumph Coaching. The fuel boats will be the only boats that will be in the middle of the channel. Anything else you see is a kayak, and any boat that's in the channel beyond that gets to meet our friends at the U.S. Coast Guard. So they're the only boats that are out there. They will be obvious. So with the shuttles, if you're in the 4.4 mile swim, we recommend that you park at the park and ride, which is right there at Route 8. It's pretty much directly across from the new Target. If that fills up, there's a couple hundred spots. You go down and you park at Chesapeake Elementary School. That bus will take 1 milers, 4.4s, and spectators. And what they're going to do is they go from Chesapeake to the park and ride to Libby's. Yeah, Icicle, they are right on the main site. You don't want to sit here and try to scribe things down, okay? Go right to bayswim.com. And it's like the third thing down. It says shuttles and pre-race check-ins, and the actual parking addresses are on there. Okay? Yeah, you don't want to be writing down whatever I'm saying. Mike, same kind of thing. So 5 a.m., those buses start running. They will run from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. If you don't want to go poking around on the main page, you can also download that 2023 swimmer guide. So 2023 swimmer guide. So I mentioned there are two things that I forgot to put in there. One was the food boats. That's mile 2 and mile 3. The other thing is a glasses table. We did this last year. People really appreciated it. So there will be a table, especially for the 4.4s, because I have plenty of time to get it back over there. There will be a table that you'll be able to set glasses, or if you have medical devices that you need immediately at the finish line, you set it right on that table as you're going, and then they will be waiting for you at the finish line before you come out of the finish chute. They will be waiting for you there. So if you need your glasses, they're going to be waiting for you over on the other side. If you have any kind of medical stuff, it will be waiting for you over on the other side as well. So people were asking, there's a lot of really cool stuff. One of the things on that front page is a friend of ours, Tracy McNeil, over at Crossing Currents Crossing Currents Aquatics, made a really cool performance split. And it tells you, because we talk about for this 10-person self-seated start, that we're going to have these 100-yard per minute, pace kind of signs. And those are going to be broken down by like minute and 15 second per 100 yard, all the way up to 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So 2:45, based on what Tracy's got there, is going to be right at that 3 hour and 45 minute mark. That is slower than the 45-minute pace. Okay, that will be slower than the 45-minute pace that we tell you to, just slightly, but that will account for. Our cutoff times will start when the last person goes in the water. Okay, when the last person goes in the water. I can tell you this process is not going to take anything over 10 minutes. All of you will be in the water by 8:10 a.m. for the 4.4. That means the 1 mile, we're going to start you first wave at 8:15. Okay, so 1 milers, if there's anybody in here, you're going to start at 8:15. The fastest non-wetsuit people, you will be the first 100 people in the water. Just like the 4.4s, when you check in, they will ask you wetsuit or non-wetsuit. Okay? So the next wave will be the remainder of the non-wetsuits, and if we have to start mixing in some wetsuits into that to get started, we will do that as well. But non-wetsuit 1 milers, you will go first because we start you in the water. It's not this self-checked. Okay? How large is a clear plastic bag for stuff? Matt, I know everybody hated my bags last year. I'm not sure why everybody packed the kitchen sink. We literally had a laptop in one of the bags. I guess you guys were bored or needed to do some work. We made them slightly larger. I think it's a 15-gallon bag this year, so it doesn't have drawstrings. It's basically a small trash can or trash bag, but it's bigger than it was last year, and it's thick, so you'll be able to put some stuff in it. As soon as you go to check in, Peter, as soon as you go to check in, you're going to come right to the bathhouses, and that this year is exactly where, that's exactly where you are going to check in. It's where you're going to get body marked. It's where you're going to drop your bags, all of that kind of stuff. And you're going to drop them in groups of 25 so that we can put them in bigger bags and so we can carry all of those back over. So our staff will be with those bags the entire time. And when we take them over to the other side, we are in control of those the entire time. When we take them over to the other side, as we lay them out in sequential order, we have other people who are there, other people from March of Dimes who are there to watch after your bags. So you can bring your keys, bring your cell phone. You know, I mean, I don't know if you need to bring your wallet other than your ID. Excuse me. I think bringing your ID is probably all that you need to bring. If you want to bring a credit card, bring one credit card, something like that. If you want to bring checks, make them out to cash. No, just kidding. Don't make them out to cash. If you want to bring donation checks, you can bring those to the start line, Great Chesapeake Bay Swim or GCBS. That will work for us as well. So yes, Peter, they will be safe. Joel, good question. Long sleeve wetsuit. Where do you get body marked? Right there. Right on the back of your hand. So everybody is going to get marked on the back of their hand. And if you're not wearing a full sleeve wetsuit, you're going to get marked down your arm also. Okay. Yeah, Maggie, sorry, the splits only go up to 230. I didn't make it. I can't do much. I mean, say thank you to Tracy for taking the time to make that. We're going to go to 245. I can tell you that would be a 332 finish line. They break up every 15 seconds, so 115, 130, 145, 215, 230. We're going to go 245 because if I add 10 minutes into that, you're right at that 3 hour and 45 minute mark that everybody has to give out. Matt Durante, no. A pull buoy is not allowed. You will wear one of the tethered buoys. And that is simply for safety. A pull buoy would give you flotation. If you want to wear one, you're a wetsuit. We'll make that super simple. If you use anything, if you use fins, don't expect to see your name in the results. I'm going to be the one standing on the beach over on the eastern shore, western shore. I'm nice, but I also follow the rules. So no, Matt. No pull buoys. It's got to be the tethered buoy. Wes, are awards given for most fundraising? Wes, I have to actually double check on that because sometimes that's a little difficult because we have people who come and actually bring us thousands and thousands of dollars worth of check on race day. I know what we do give awards out for is a little different, and I know a lot of you guys really like it this year. So we're doing 5-year age groups, and we are separating wetsuit and non-wetsuit. So we are giving 5-year age groups for wetsuit and 5-year age groups for non-wetsuit. My team has been building these awards for 2 days. It's like 423 awards. It's insane. So we're at least doing that as a thank you to everybody for being a part in celebrating the 30th anniversary. We will evaluate if we're going to do quite that extreme again next year. But yeah, for this year, it's awards for everybody and for our longevity. So one of those emails was a list of all the longevity people. A few people reached out and said, hey, either I'm not supposed to be on there or I should be on there. That's what we want you to do. info@bayswim.com. info@bayswim.com. Tim Geeson, packet pickup is race morning only. Yes, absolutely it is. It is only on race morning. And part of that is because I apologize, I went back to look at Mark Levy's question. Part of that is because this is dynamic bib assignment. So when we hand out the 312th chip on the 1 mile, we know we have 312 people in the water. Matt, I guess I didn't read Mark Maury's question or Mark Levy's question quite so well. If you use a pull buoy, we are going to make you swim as a wetsuit person. We will make you swim as a wetsuit person. It's an unfair advantage. It really is. Eric Kane, do most people wear wetsuits? 60-40, 60% do, 40% don't. And Matt, that answers your question as well. Yeah. So Mark, hopefully that answers your question, man. If you try to come through the non-wetsuit, or you tell them wetsuit, I mean, it's a swim aid. It would be like somebody using hand paddles or fins. It's a no-go. The only reason I would say that we can put you in a wetsuit class is because that's what you're getting. You're getting the flotation from it. That's why you're doing it. So you're not getting any propulsion from it. If anything, you're cutting your propulsion in half, but you're getting a better body position in the water. So yeah, I mean, I'd let you go in the wetsuit category. But if you tried to go in the non-wetsuit, yeah, we'd disqualify you. All right, so let me look on here. Oh, shuttles. If you didn't see the email today, we talked to Sandy Point. It's funny. Last year they yelled at us because we went, yes, Mark, agreed. Wetsuit, not DQ. Last year they yelled at us because we went so late. They said we'll never be able to go that late in the afternoon again. We'll worry about that in future years. This year, the park opens at 7 a.m. The park opens to the general public at 7 a.m. Our shuttles are allowed in starting about 5:15, 5:30 in the morning. They are the only things that are allowed in there. So don't expect somebody to go and drive you in there, because if you're waiting in line on at 7 o'clock in the morning, they said that their line can be 100 cars starting around 5:30 or 6 a.m. So what we want you to do is we want you to go over to Chesapeake or to Route 8 Park and Ride and take a ride. Somebody told me today, well, I'm going to get dropped off. And I sent an email to the park. And the park said, I can't tell you that our staff, who is trained to not let people walk in, isn't going to say, hey, don't walk in. And they said it's dangerous and it's a mile walk. That's on you. I'm telling you, as the race director, we want you to use the shuttle. That's why we get the shuttle, we pay for the shuttle, all that kind of stuff. We want you to use the shuttle. Somebody asked why we don't have shuttles on the Western Shore. Well, the reason is because you're swimming to the Eastern Shore, and we're sure not going to cart you back to the Western Shore. So we cart you to the finish line, both the 1 mile and the 4.4 finish there. Yeah, Maggie, I know. They were open early last year, but remember last year we were at like noon or so. So what we think might be early, I'm not sure exactly. Al has a really good point. Al Gruber, we put out his email yesterday, and Tom pretty much said, yeah, that's spot on, and he put out his stuff today. Al is saying your pace should be your pool pace. Look, those signs are just for fun. I mean, they're not for fun, but they're to help you seed yourself. So, use it however you want. Use it as your pool pace or we're not checking. We it's just like when you go to the Marine Corps Marathon and they said go, and within, a minute and a half, somebody's doing the Galloway method and they're walking in front of you. And you're like, holy cow. So use it however you want to use it. If your time is significantly different, I do recommend, somebody said, should this be my all-out sprint 100-yard time? The answer is no, absolutely not. Unless you're going to sprint 4.4 miles, which is a long way. So don't do that. But yeah, it should be by your pool pace unless you are a seasoned open water person and that's all that you're doing. It's completely up to you. Again, the cutoff times and everything start when the last person goes in the water. That first buoy already added 15 minutes in. So everything else is a 45-minute time. The first buoy is until 9 o'clock. So instead of 45 minutes, there's a full hour in that, and that'll be an hour after the last person goes in. So you got plenty of time. For those of you who are looking at tides and you're going, oh my God, the high tide is at noon and the low tide is at 4, so they're just going to put us in a washing machine and all that kind of stuff. That's not. So I used to think it was all tides too. It's more about the tidal flow. And so at, I think it's like 9:30, it's a perfect slack tide. And that's where Al and that's where Tom, that's where all their recommendations say, okay, from here you should start switching over to the other side of the bridge. Take some time and look back at those emails. Read both of those things. Don't kill me on the details. These are all opinions of people. And we thank them for taking their time and doing that. Courtney Reichenbach wants to know if Al can wear a different color cap. So if you haven't seen it, your caps, the 4.4 mile caps are all branded and they're green. Every 4.4 mile swimmer is green. Every 1 mile swimmer, you are blue. You're about this color blue, this light blue that's behind me. If for some reason you think that you want somebody to keep a closer eye on you or you're just a little concerned, ask for a red cap and they will give you a non-branded red cap also. Take your awesome cap, your branded cap, put it in your morning clothes bag, and we'll take it over to the other side for you because we want you to wear that and show off what you did. But if you're even the littlest bit concerned, ask for a red cap, and our safety crew and all of those guys will actually keep a better eye on you. And I don't mean that like we're going to ignore everybody else out there, but you know what I mean. All right, I'm going to pull up right this second. Current water temperature right this second is 71.2 degrees. It is one of the very first things that's under description at bayswim.com. When you send me an email and you ask me what's the water temperature, I click that. So I'm going to get real busy here in the next couple days. So if you would just go to bayswim.com and click that, that would be awesome. And I don't have to do that. So, no, Allison, this is everybody, every single person, every 1 miler and every 4.4 is on here, of people who registered within like the last week. So Allison Adams is, you're right there. Okay. Oh, you couldn't see me, could you? You're right there. So good job. Way to have an A. All right, Doug Yeager, yes. The smoke, yes, we're aware of the smoke. It should not be an issue. It should be a non-issue. By Sunday, we spoke about it. The air quality was like a 150 something today, and it's going to be like 52 on Sunday. So fingers crossed, but if something were to happen, we don't make that call until 6 o'clock in the morning. We're very glad that we did that last year because it wound up being a beautiful day. But yeah, it's all good. If you know any kayak friends that want to come out and play, scroll all the way to the bottom of the menu at bayswim.com and go to kayak volunteer. I know Mike would love to have more people out there. We'd love to see more people out there. We're good, but the more the merrier. That's even better. Let's see. When you guys all finish, March of Dimes will be over there. We're going to have water and everything inside the finish chute this year just for the swimmers, and then there will be additional water over by the food. Food is going to be some breakfasty stuff. It's also going to be Subway subs. We thank them and thank their partnership with them for actually getting us some real food afterwards. Libby's is going to be open, and they're going to do some specials for us. We're hoping for a beautiful day because, man, the view out there is just absolutely incredible. We will do all of the awards right after there. Al, a picture or drawing of the finish, like what you're going to see when you come up to it. We don't have it built yet. I can kind of give you a hint what it's going to look like. It's going to be pretty big. And we're going to have, last year we had a big orange wiggly man kind of waving to you. So we're going to do some things that really stand out visually so that you can see that. Let me see what we've got here. Ingrid, Why did we start so late last year when this year and previous years we started early in the morning? Remember, storms were around, but we slated to start even later for bad weather. Yes, Ingrid, it is always, always, always the tides, and it's not just the tides, it's the tidal flow. So I think it's like 4 a.m. is low tide, high tide is at like noon, 12:30, but there is a slack tide right in the middle of that, and that's how we determine. We've been told that we will probably not be allowed to start quite that late again, because it really, if it wasn't a stormy day, if it was a nice day, it would have really messed up Sandy Point. So, Tim Geeson, we bring everything on the shuttle in a bag, and it sits on the shore as we swim. Absolutely. Yep. So you bring everything over to us, you get changed, you do all of that kind of stuff. There are bathhouses over there, so you can get changed in your wetsuit if you want to wear a wetsuit. And then you'll put everything into a bag, and then that bag goes into a bigger bag, and then that big bag goes into a trailer, and then we bring it back over to the finish line for you. So our staff is completely in control of that the entire time. So a couple cool things that we did this year. I was really hoping, I keep looking that way. Medals. Everybody's getting a medal. The 1 miler has a different medal than the 4.4 miler has. So we're really excited about that. Shirts. I was going to show you what the shirts look like. They're cool and they're different. The 4.4 is different than the 1 mile. 1 mile, we want to entice you to come over to the 4.4. And a lot of people will use this 1 mile to be able to do either early bird for next year or anything like that. Stephen, there is not really a place to change at the finish. There's a giant fire truck and they will hose you down. I'm going to see if I can get at least a couple pop-up tents with some sides. I can't promise that. So Stephen, don't hold me to that, but I'm going to see if I can find something for you guys. Wait, stop. All right, stop asking questions for a second. So we got medals for everybody. We've got the branded caps for everybody. We've got shirts for everybody. Free race photos. Every single one of your pictures this year is free. Every single one. And we want you to show those off, share them with social media. Now, keep in mind, you might have to go sorting through some stuff when we post up all the pictures because you all look the same. Every one of you looks exactly alike when you come out of the water. So we're hoping with the timer and with the photographer, we can link that up so that it will automatically say, hey, here's Al Gruber, even though he's, we can't tell who he is. Here's Al Gruber. So, speaking of which, Al Gruber, bib numbers under the cap. Okay? Nope. No more of that tear off, hand you stuff. We have other ways of doing backup. You're not going to have to walk through a line and hand one tag to somebody, and then when you get done, take another one and hand it off or anything like that. The technology we use is absolutely amazing. It's what we use for Ironman. It's tried and true and tested, and we have some manual backups beyond that too. So you don't have to worry about that. Andy with a Ironman profile. Are there spectators at the start or only at the finish? All right, man. So if spectators cannot take the shuttle to the 4.4 start, cannot take the shuttle because you're not getting back unless you hop in the water and swim too. So if they want to see you at the start of the 4.4, they're going to have to go and sit in that long line and pay $5 to come in to see you start the 4.4. They are allowed at the finish line, and 1 milers, the start and finish line are the same place at Libby's. They should go to Stevensville Elementary Middle School, and that address is right on baseswim.com. It's like the second thing down. They should go there and take a shuttle to Libby's. They won't be able to park at Libby's. We have big bouncers, big burly dudes. Actually, it's probably kids. But we have people who are not going to let them park at Libby's. So they need to go and park at a shuttle and then come back. All right. Ingrid will change under the towels and shirts. Yep. Andy, that should answer your question. Do I recommend any kind of lube? Yeah, I try to stay out of those conversations, John. Honestly, Body Glide is really great. It's really amazing. It stays on a little bit better than Vaseline and things like that. I'll give you a piece of advice. They make a pink one. They make a blue one. Use either one of them. Do not use the red one. Red one has imbrication, which means it burns like hell. Yeah, so there you go. Blue or pink, man. Palabi, can spectators hang out with the swimmer during awards? Absolutely, 100%. We want everybody just hanging out on Libby's property. We want everybody just chilling and hanging out there. Caitlin, thank you. Just let me know. info@bayswim.com if you don't mind. For those of you first time. Okay. Lauren, listen to the gurus. Seriously, go in there, go back in the 2023 emails. Look at the line that Al talks about and that Tom acts about. I love open water swimming. I think it's calming. Get in there and enjoy it. I mean, you're doing something that a lot of people haven't done. You've done all this training. All this is a big celebration of all the training that you've done. If you breathe to the right, only to the right. If you see one bridge, you're doing it right. If you see two bridges or zero bridges, you're doing it wrong. You're outside of the bridge. Get back to where you just see one. But try to enjoy it. Really. Try to have some fun. Al, yes. So our shuttles will start running all morning to take spectators to the finish. Our shuttles contiguously run until 2 p.m. After 2 p.m., you're going to hoof it. You're gonna have to walk to wherever you want to go. But yes, they will constantly. So their flow will be from Libby's. They will go to Chesapeake Elementary and Middle School. They will go to Park and Ride, and they will go back to Libby's. And they will just keep doing that and moving people around till 2 o'clock. That's spectators. That is 1 milers, 4.4s. They're going to take you back where you want to go. Again, use these shuttles. I get it. Some of you are like, I've been doing it for years. I'm going to just walk from the gate. I'm just telling you, we're recommending use the shuttles, but you do you. We're going to start at 8 o'clock. The last person's going to go on the water at 8:10, and if you come rolling up there at 8:15, I guess you get to go for a ride in my truck, because once everybody clears, we're not going to be cutting any more people loose. All right. Definitely, if you haven't been getting emails, I can sit here right now and count. There's like 13 emails under 2023 emails. Go in and take a look at them. Really. They've got great information. If there's anything really big, I'm trying to put it right on the front page. Those performance splits, scrolling down to the bottom, it actually says geek out on distances, because that's what I do. So from the beach to the bridge is 430 yards, and where mile 1 is and all that kind of stuff. So, at this point in time, we can't do anything about weather. We can't do anything about smoke and stuff like that. So keep your training up. You should be tapering a little bit off at this point, or you should have been tapering. Just drink water. Make sure that you're hydrated. People say, "Hey, what do you eat the day of a race?" I eat the same thing I eat every other day. Don't do anything special. Don't try to super crazy carb load on pancakes and stuff. Don't eat tuna fish and don't eat a banana. I can tell you that. You'll be burping it and tasting that the whole time. Over at the start line for the 4.4, we will have at least 3 tables this year with water. Again, everything is going to be up at the bathhouses, but all the way down to the water's edge, we're going to have 3 tables with water and cups and stuff like that. I know last year people said it was hard to find. So, beyond that, I mean, best thing to do, we're at about 45 minutes. I've tried to answer everything that's popped up. Best thing to do, look at that swimmer guide again. We actually take the time. I'm an athlete, so I like to put in there what I think we're going to need. I try to make it one font color and one font size. Every once in a while, if you see something bold, that's probably pretty important. Tim, I apologize. I didn't see your chip will go on your ankle. They're in the trailer. It is Velcro. It's Velcroed around. If you want to use tape or anything like that, knock yourself out. We prefer you not to use pins because we have to undo those pins. When you come back onto the land over on the other side. So piece of tape, not a problem. And Allison, you're right. I've never had trouble with the Velcro, and 400 of these chips are brand new, so it should be really good Velcro. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out to us at info@bayswim.com. I try to answer them. I'm the one that answers them, so I try to answer them myself as quickly as I can. If you don't get an answer from me, chances are I'm doing something, probably for this race. So, if we get those stairs built and they are super secure, that they talked about at the very beginning, we will absolutely take pictures and stuff like that. We are going to post this on Facebook once we're done. On Facebook, obviously, and YouTube when we're done, so that people can take a look at it. But best thing to do, look at those 2 emails from Al and Tom over the past couple days. Look at the swimmer guide. So, yeah, we should be good. Maggie, there should be good. Well, you know what? I'll make sure that we have some tape on the other side in case you have teeny tiny ankles. Okay. All right, guys. Anything you need, info@bayswim.com. Every piece of information is at bayswim.com. So, all right. Okay, guys. We'll talk to you later.